Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Live at 4. Happy Valentine's Day. We begin with team coverage of the weather. A little deja vu today as our First Warn weather team tracks alert day conditions.
Yeah, our 1-2 punch, Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington and Meteorologist Blaze Keller are in-house tracking the snow. Tanisha Shaw is out on the roads, keeping an eye on travel conditions. And our Will Keneally is downtown as couples brave the storm to keep their plans going this Valentine's Day. But let's start out with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington to find out what he's been tracking. Alex?
Brady, we have snow entering Dane County right now as we speak. There we go. Here on the west side of Dane County, if you are in Cross Plains, Mount Horeb right now, in fact, we have some of our photographers on their way out on 151 out towards Mount Horeb over towards the Barneville area. We have snow already moving into Dane County, and it is widespread across southwestern Wisconsin communities from Platteville just west of Monroe near Darlington. Very likely the snow is coming down at a moderate to a heavy pace, and this is going to continue through the evening hours. We have winter weather advisories that are in effect until 6 a.m. on Saturday for a good portion of southern Wisconsin. We even see these extended further into Saturday. We'll talk more about that in Maine weather as we are expecting additional snow accumulations in total between tonight and Saturday of 3 to 6 inches, at least 2 to 5 out of this first burst of snow that we're expecting over the course of the evening hours. And we can time that out here just to give you the overall comprehensive picture. That snow is starting now. Most intense snowfall between 6 and 10 p.m. could come down at 1 inch per hour. Then the snow may taper for a brief period of time between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. with a little bit of freezing drizzle, and then that snow redevelops. At least we're expecting that again as we go on into Saturday. We have meteorologist Blaze Keller out in the patio. Hey, Blaze, has that snow made it from the sky to the ground on the patio yet? And can you take us through future track?
Yeah, not quite yet. We're still going to be probably waiting at least outside the studio, maybe within the hour. We'll start to see some of those snowflakes falling, but let's track out this latest round of snow. We're going to continue to watch as this heavy snow moves in out of southwestern Wisconsin. And as Alex mentioned, there may be a brief lull or break in some of that heavy snow, but we're still going to be dealing with overall snowy conditions as we go not only into your overnight hours, but throughout your Saturday and then further into Sunday as well. That's when the system really pulls on out of the Midwest. So Alex has mentioned that we are expecting a decent amount of snow out of this, and this is going to be more of that wet, heavy snow, not to mention some lake effect influence closer to Lake Michigan. So we've got a couple of hours, to say the least, to go with this system. So Alex, I'm going to continue to clear out the patio here so that we can get a really good accurate reading of how much snow we did receive. So folks, if you want to help us out, make sure you clear off a patch since we got snow yesterday so you can get the most accurate reading, and then send it our way. We'll send it to the National Weather Service for their records as well. But for now, Alex, I'll continue to clean up the patio and I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Blaze. That's a great idea. That way we can give you the most accurate measurement of how much we're accumulating over the course of tonight and then again on Saturday. Now, the snow is flying in western Dane County. We have Tanisha Shaw, who is also out on the roads, to show you just what Tanisha is seeing out there right now. If we can go to our live drive. Tanisha, are you seeing any snow in your neighborhood? Well, it looks like maybe we don't have Tanisha's microphone, but Tanisha and company, they're heading west here on 151, as I was mentioning, so they are going to be moving into the western part of Dane County as we are live right now, looking at our live drive right now. I don't see any snow falling from the sky yet, but it has that white look to the sky that snow is just about ready to fly here. And as we were just showing with Radar 3000 before the 4 o'clock show ends, we will very likely have heavy snow on our live drive. Brady, Susan?
Thank you, Alex. Whew, it is a big day, and it might be an alert day, but that's not stopping couples from going out on their Valentine's Day date nights.
Our Will Keneally is downtown reporting for us tonight. Hi, Will. Not only will it be snowing soon, it's bitterly cold tonight. How does it look downtown?
That's right. Well, we're in the shadow of the where you usually see me day in, day out in the state capitol. And boy, I tell you, that capitol is looking warmer and warmer by every minute here. We're seeing kind of on the square here just a little bit early before we start seeing some of these businesses close for the day, close for the weekend. So we're seeing a couple of people kind of trickle out, kind of make their way around. It hasn't picked up so much here yet. And as Alex was mentioning, we're kind of further east of everybody so far, and we definitely have not seen flakes on the ground yet. We do see them though, a little bit of the aftermath from the earlier in the week storm with these major snow piles off the square here. So just if you're heading downtown, a little bit of caution as you're kind of navigating, weaving in throughout those. But we did talk to one business general manager on the square here about kind of how they're preparing for Valentine's Day and this major snow event, making sure they get their employees home safe at the end of the night. And we'll have more from her coming up tonight at 6, or 4:30 and 5 and 6. But for now, reporting from downtown Madison, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
All right, Will, thank you. Stay up to date on the weather with our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather.
Well, Madison police are investigating a deadly shooting on the city's east side. Last night at about 10, officers responded to this area. It's a parking lot on North Thompson Drive. When they got there, they found an 18-year-old with gunshot wounds. The teenager died at the scene. A second teenager, 16 years old, went to the hospital with a gunshot wound to their leg. Police found a gun at the scene. They haven't arrested anyone yet, though. Police say there's no known threat to the public right now. And police are asking anyone with information to contact the Madison Area Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014. You can submit a tip online at p3tips.com. Later on Live at 4, Ellie La Liberté will bring us more information on this investigation.
2 Republican members of the state legislature want to permanently fund the Office of School Safety. The office is part of the Wisconsin Department of Justice. Among its resources, it supports school-based threat assessment and behavioral intervention teams. Now, you may be familiar with its Speak Up, Speak Out reporting system. The office has faced funding issues due to the expiration of federal grants. Representative Todd Novak and Senator Romaine Quinn are circulating a bill to permanently fund the office. They'll introduce it to the full legislature later this month.
Well, next on Live at 4, an outbreak in Texas that has officials on high alert.
And why some of the nation's top prosecutors say they're resigning.
Well, if you haven't made Valentine's Day dinner plans, don't worry, just stay in. Use the weather as an excuse.
That's exactly right. You're wondering where the snow is? It's right in our back door. Alex is watching the radars. It's moving in.
Yes, it sure is right now. And Blaze is out on the patio here. Actually, if we can take Max 1 full here, I'll actually step out of the way here. I want to show you our live Queen Bee Radio Skycam as we speak right now. Pretty much zero visibility right now in the southern part of Grant County. And every now and then you see one of those big wet snowflakes fly right in front of the camera. This is part of our First Warn WeatherCam network in southern Wisconsin that we're building, and our Dodgeville Upland Hills sponsored Skycam also showing those big flakes. Look at the flag in the background there. It is blowing in from the south and from the east out ahead of this very first band of snow. As we take a peek here, Platteville all blue. That's what we see right now. That confirms the heavy snow coming down right now in Platteville and probably right down on the Pioneer Stadium as well. As we move to the north and east up 151, we also have our live drive that will be out in the Dodgeville area shortly. There's the snow, so that confirms on radar 3000. Let's head on east. It's coming along Highway 151. It's near Madison. Blaze, you'll be having snowflakes out on the patio pretty soon because it's widespread from Camp Douglas right down to the Dells to Madison to Janesville. We said it would start at 4 o'clock and well, it's 4:12 p.m. So future track showing that heavy snow all the way through at least midnight, then possibly having a break. That break, we could be looking at some freezing drizzle before redevelopment of snow on Saturday with a few more inches of snow expected, with snow showers lasting perhaps even into Sunday before that bitterly cold air moves into southern Wisconsin. Overall snowfall totals between tonight and then that redevelopment, 3 to 6 inches in Madison, a bit more, maybe 6, 7, an isolated 8-inch amount to the north of Madison. And Blaze is out on the patio to confirm if we have any flakes starting yet. And Blaze will also tell us about the bitterly cold temperatures that are coming to southern Wisconsin. Blaze?
That's right. Yes, the cold is on the way. The snow is also on the way. I keep looking off to my left here, but I'm not seeing any snowflakes yet. But I just checked our interactive radar, and it is really right on our doorstep. So probably within the next half hour, we should start to see some snow here in at least southern part parts of Dane County, if not the whole county. But Alex, as you mentioned, the bitter cold is around the corner, and it started off up there in Alaska, kind of right in the Arctic Circle. Today, it's just to the west of the Hudson Bay, and by the 17th, that cold air is going to be overhead. So this is truly coming from the Arctic Circle. This is another blast of cold Arctic air. From the 16th through the 20th, when we have a couple of alert days, that's when we're having this hazardous cold outlook for not only the state of Wisconsin, but a lot of the Midwest and the upper plains, as not only our temperatures drop, but take a look at our wind chills as well. Waking up Monday morning, anywhere between 20 to 30 degrees below zero. The coldest air looks to arrive Tuesday morning. Most of us feeling 30 to 35, maybe close to 40 in some spots, degrees below zero for wind chill values. Actual air temperatures won't be that bad, but it will still be cold. And then even into Wednesday morning, still dealing with those cold wind chills, 15 to 25 degrees below zero. So stay with News 3 Now. We'll, of course, keep you updated should any extreme cold alerts be issued. Again, those are to replace wind chill advisories. And obviously, if any schools are closed or delayed because of that cold, you can always get the latest by checking on our website, checking on our app, or tuning into us here as well. There's a look at that 10-day forecast, the alert days for snow Sunday, Monday, and then the cold Monday and Tuesday. With those temperatures in the single digits for highs. That's about 20 to 30 degrees below normal for high temperatures. Overnight lows well below zero, Alex. And folks at home, we are getting that taste of winter that we really missed out through the month of January.
Thanks so much, Blaze. Again, a live look here at our Upland Hills Sky Cam. This is part of our First One Weather Cam network, where we're able to show you all of the weather across southern Wisconsin. We're building this network, which is not only helpful to show you impactful winter weather, but it prepares us for our severe weather season, which is right around the corner. We do have our live drive feed, I think, currently right now. This is a live look heading west on 151 towards Dodgeville. It looks like some snowflakes are starting to fly here. As you take note in the background to the left and the right, that we have some reduced visibilities already starting as Tanisha Shaw and our photographer Mark, or BMES rather, are heading to the Dodgeville area. So Tanisha's not driving. Tanisha is in the passenger seat, and Tanisha will be providing us live conditions here a little bit later in the newscast. Susan Brady, the snow is nearing Madison. It is coming down to the west. It's verifying.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. In other news today, tomorrow Hamas will release 3 more hostages. Israel says all 3 are dual citizens and 1 is American. The release follows a fight that threatened the ceasefire in Gaza. Hamas said it wouldn't release the hostages because Israel violated the ceasefire deal. It appears the dispute has been resolved, and the militant group will swap the 3 hostages for more than 350 Palestinians by the previously agreed upon time.
A measles outbreak in Texas is growing. The first 2 cases were identified last month. The number of cases now stands at 48 and is spread out across multiple counties. All cases are in unvaccinated people or those whose vaccination status is unknown. Among the 48 cases, 13 people have been hospitalized. Severe cases can result in blindness, pneumonia, or brain swelling. In some cases, it can even result in death. The state's health department is working with 2 local departments to investigate the outbreak.
Federal workers are rallying against billionaire Elon Musk's sway over the Trump administration. This morning, a group called Federal Workers Against Doge gathered outside of the HHS headquarters to show their support for the workers inside. It comes a day after the administration instructed agencies to continue with layoffs for federal government probationary workers. That applies to more than 200,000 employees. It comes as Musk's own comments are stirring fear among some departments that could be eliminated entirely.
We need to delete entire agencies as opposed to leave part of them behind.
The departments where the most recent firings have taken place: Energy and Veterans Affairs. Earlier this week, mass firings happened at the Department of Education, an agency President Trump has said he wants gone.
The White House is punishing the Associated Press for refusing to call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. The White House Deputy Chief of Staff posted on X today, the Associated Press's decision is protected by the First Amendment, but does not ensure its journalists access to Air Force One or the Oval Office. AP has cited the fact the body of water is largely outside of the U.S. as its reason for sticking with the Gulf of Mexico.
Multiple federal prosecutors are resigning, accusing the Trump Justice Department of playing politics. The DOJ ordered the interim U.S. attorney in Manhattan to drop the corruption case against New York Mayor Eric Adams. The prosecutor resigned instead, alleging a quid pro quo. She accused Adams of agreeing to carry out the president's immigration agenda in exchange for the case being dropped. Earlier this week, Adams, a Democrat, announced a shift in his city's traditional sanctuary policy.
Well, still ahead, News 3 Now, Spirit of Service campaign returns.
Our Josh Spreiter shows us how you can be a part of the effort to honor our local veterans when we come back.
Looks like we both got the Valentine's Day
red memo, yes.
Yes, we are all set for Valentine's Day, but it is not just Valentine's Day. It's also National Donor Day.
Right now, 103,000 people in the U.S. need an organ transplant, and 1,400 of those people are in Wisconsin. Organ donors can save up to 8 lives and change more than 75 through eye and tissue donations. But only 3% of people die in a way in which their organs can be harvested.
But there are such things as living donations. When someone donates an organ or part of an organ for another person, that transplant is typically better anyway. The Health Resources and Services Administration says while more than 90% of adults support organ donation, only 60% are actually registered. One common misconception that could be preventing registration, the perception that doctors won't try to save you if they know you're a donor.
That could not be more far from the truth. The medical professionals are always doing everything that they can to save a person's life. And it's only once we've gotten to the point where a person has been declared neurologically dead, or a family has decided they are going to remove their loved one from life support, that's when organ donation becomes a conversation.
You can sign up to be an organ donor at the DMV or at heroicdeed.com.
In the 608, we're kicking off our Spirit of Service campaign as we honor local veterans making a positive impact in the community.
Josh Spreiter is in Barneveld with how you can get involved.
News 3 Now is proud to partner with Vortex as we look to honor our local veterans doing something good in the community. Joe Hamilton of Vortex is joining us today. Joe, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, Spirit of Service 2025, it is here. And what is this campaign all about?
Yeah, so we're in year 3 of this campaign. So Spirit of Service is all about veterans who've served our country, but yet after their service, they're still serving their communities. In some cases, that's serving the veteran community after their home, in some cases just serving the community in general. So we really think that it's an important opportunity to highlight those individuals, and that's what it's all about.
So starting today, folks can nominate these veterans on channel3000.com. And why is it so important to nominate these people right now?
Yeah, I think, you know, they're really deserving that, not only for their service for the country, but what they're continuing to do. It's an inspiration for the community. They're doing really good work within the community. And I think it's just important that we highlight whoever is doing that, but particularly the people that have served our country.
So over the next couple of months, we're going to be talking a lot about Spirit of Service. And how does this process work for folks that may not be familiar with it?
Yes, so they'll go to channel3000.com. They'll have a couple weeks to nominate, to write in these individuals that they want to highlight and what they do and what they're all about. And so we'll collect those over the next couple weeks, and then we'll have an opportunity where folks can vote on those people that they nominated, and eventually we'll declare a winner.
So from where this started to where this is now, this gets bigger and better every year. And it's hard to narrow down because, I mean, truly, there are so many amazing people doing good things in our community.
Yeah, it's so true. If you want to get inspired, not only nominate somebody, but then get a chance to read through and, of course, vote. It's very inspirational. I will say it's also very difficult to think we've only got one winner, but it is a lot of fun.
You know, how is this really benefiting the community, and why is it important to give back to these folks that are right here in our backyard?
Yeah, so first of all, they're benefiting the community with the service that they're doing. And I think anybody who's got a heart and passion for service, to the extent that we can highlight them and encourage them and inspire other people to do it, I think it's a really big opportunity. It's a chance to be a catalyst. And of course, it's a chance to really reward these people who've really dedicated their whole lives to serving.
You know, it's in their DNA. From years ago to now, they just want to give back and they want to make a positive impact. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, it is in their DNA and it's who they are. We like to think it's who we are at Vortex, and that's why we're just so inspired by them. And again, we really want to highlight them. We want to show our appreciation. And when we want to inspire other people to do the same thing.
And moving forward, I mean, that's what it's all about is, you know, that community commitment, right?
Yes.
And these folks want to keep giving back.
Yeah, and again, we just want to support them. We want to show our appreciation, and like I said, we just want to inspire them to keep going.
All right, those nominations open starting today. This is going to be a fun couple of months, Joe.
A lot of fun.
All right, thank you so much. And if you'd like to learn more about how you can nominate and really what this process looks like over the next couple of months, just go to channel3000.com. Again, you can nominate now. We'll be narrowing down those nominations, and then that winner will be announced later in April, and they'll be walking home with $5,000 and doing what they want to do and giving back to the community. In Barneveld, I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
It's a great campaign. Josh, thank you so much. Coming up on Live at 4, Alex and Blaze continue to track tonight's winter storm.
Plus, our Ellie La Liberté takes us to an MPD news conference on a shooting that marks the city's first homicide of the year. Well, it is an alert day, and we have some ice fishers enjoying the calm before the snow reaches Madison.
A long duration snow are the weather words, and to the west of us, the snow is already falling and heavily. Alex is here with an update.
Yeah, thanks, Susan. Thanks, Brady. Long duration snow. We got full team coverage across all of southern Wisconsin right now. Let's take a look at that live Queen Bee Radio Skycam. If we could actually take that full, this is what you're up against, southern Wisconsin, for at least for a few hours tonight as a quick burst of heavy snow. And this was really round one of this event, a long duration snow, as Susan was saying. We just got word from the National Weather Service that in Platteville, we have storm spotter confirmation of nearly 2 inches of snow, and that's 2 inches of snow that has fallen really over the better part of an hour or two. So that means the snow is coming down at the rate of anywhere between 1 and 2 inches per hour, with visibilities, as you see there, very likely less than a quarter of a mile in Platteville. We're building a Skycam network. It's the first Warren WeatherCam network. This is our Upland Hills Skycam in Dodgeville right now. Look at how heavy the snow is falling in Dodgeville as we speak right now. Big flakes, and if you can see the flag there, it's whipping in the wind, and we're going to continue to build our Skycam network to give you the full scope of southern Wisconsin's weather, which is a powerful tool during winter weather coverage and also will be a powerful tool during severe weather coverage as well. There's that dark blue verified by Radar 3000 in Platteville with that heavy snow. We're going up the road 151 to Dodgeville. We're sending Tanisha Shaw and Bmez, one of our photographers, to give you a live look momentarily of what's going on near the Dodgeville area. And here we go. This is Dane County, just about split in half right now with that heavy snow reaching from Arena to Mount Horeb to the township of Perry, maybe over towards Belleville. I'm going to send things out to meteorologist Blaze Keller, who's out on our patio. Blaze is, no, I don't see any snow yet, but it's just about there.
One flake.
Oh.
They're beginning to fall here. Obviously not to the extent of what they're seeing out in Dodgeville and even further to the west there in Platteville, but very impressive numbers since that snow really is falling at about 2 inches an hour, as you said. Seeing a little bit more snowflakes as I'm continuing to talk here, so we're beginning to see that move in to at least southwestern parts of Dane County. I've got my little ruler here cleared out a spot so that we can get the most accurate reading with this latest snowfall. And folks, if you haven't cleared out the snow, you may want to, not only so that you can get an accurate reading, but the snow that we're going to get tonight is going to only compact the snow that we received on Wednesday. Let's walk through Future Track and see exactly what we're anticipating. Again, that heavy snow is going to continue as we go throughout this evening. Maybe a brief break in the heavy snow, but we're still going to be dealing with snow overnight into and throughout your Saturday. We may see redevelopment of some of that moderate to heavy snowfall as we go into your Saturday. We said that this is going to be a long duration snow event as this low pressure system the Midwest. So that's what we're anticipating in terms of Future Track, but in terms of snow totals, Anywhere between 3 to 6 inches of snow for most of our coverage area. The dark blue there is 6 inches plus, and that's going to be partially some lake effect snow as well. Winds are going to be out of the south pretty much until Sunday, and then the bitter cold moves in. So, Alex, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio. Snowflakes are beginning to pick up here. Not seeing any of those big, fat, juicy snowflakes yet, but I anticipate probably here by at least 5 o'clock it'll be snowing like it is in Platteville here in parts of Dane County.
Thanks, Blaze. And again, verified by radar and our sky cams, we have heavy snow in southwest Wisconsin. It is just about here to the studio. It's just about here to the Madison area. So if you have any plans this evening, I just want to remind you that we have visibilities very close to zero, or at least a quarter of a mile over parts of southwest Wisconsin, and some areas reporting already 2 inches of snow in about an hour or two time frame. We have live right now also our live drive. We have Tanisha Shaw out on the roads right now. Tanisha, if we can get a live look and let viewers know where are you at first, and then what are you seeing out on the road?
Hey Alex, I'm on 18151 near the Mount Horeb area. Let's take a look at the road. So I know from my point of view, I can see snow coming down. If you pay really close attention to your screen and really focus, especially towards the bottom half, you'll be able to see snowflakes falling down in like a dusting of snow right now. Thankfully, it isn't wet or anything right now. So Alex, like you were saying, if anybody has plans or if they're going out right now, driving conditions, I would say, they're pretty fair. They're pretty normal and decent right now. But as I just heard Blaze say, in the next 30 minutes, that will change. So I'll be on the roads throughout the evening checking those conditions. Reporting near Mount Horeb, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
All right, Tanisha, you and Brian Mesmer, be safe out there. Boy, that sky looks like it's just about to open up with snow. We'll check back with you in a little while, guys. Thank you. To Wall Street now, where stocks had a mixed close to end the work week today. The Dow fell 165 points. The Nasdaq gained 81, and the S&P virtually unchanged after losing less than half a point.
Well, one person is dead and another is hurt following a shooting on Madison's east side yesterday.
Our Ellie La Liberté has been following this story and brings us the latest details.
This is the first homicide of the year, and although no arrests have been made, police believe it to be a targeted incident. Police responded to the Meadows apartment at the 200 block of North Thompson Drive around 10 p.m. on Thursday. There, they found an 18-year-old male with gunshot wounds. He later died from his injuries. Officers were then called to a local hospital after a 16-year-old male showed up with a gunshot wound to his leg.
I realize a lot of you want to know if this was drug-related or gang-related, but right now it's too soon for us to determine a motive. We do believe, however, that this was a targeted incident. That does not take away the danger that occurred last night.
Officers did recover a handgun, but are still investigating. Police say there is no threat to the public. Police are asking anyone with information to contact the Madison area Crime Stoppers. Reporting on Madison's east side, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
And that Crime Stoppers number is 608-266-6014. And you can also submit a tip online at p3tips.com.
Coming up on Live at 4, we'll head back out on the road for a look at travel conditions.
Plus, Alex and Blaze will have the full first warn forecast when we come back.
Well, alert day conditions are verifying as we speak right now across southern Wisconsin. Blaze and I are tracking the very latest alert day conditions. Let's start with our graphics here in the studio, and then we'll see and get a report from Blaze. Accumulating snow. This is a long duration snow. Tonight we're going to get a burst about 2 to 5 inches, and then a few more inches are expected on Saturday for a grand total of 3 to 6 inches. Right now, our First Warn WeatherCam network is showing the scene. Here's live in Platteville. Very low visibility. 2 inches of snow already reported in a very short period of time. You go up the road in 151, the snow is flying right now with significantly reduced visibilities. I would say that's at least a quarter of a mile. You can barely see some of those cars on the highway just outside of the Upland Hills Health Center. And thank you, Upland Hills, for sponsoring our Skycam. Radar 3000 Platteville, it's all blue, and this is coming down at the rate of 1 to, in some cases, 2 inches per hour. That is very heavy snowfall rates. There you see along Highway 151, just east of downtown Dodgeville, some very dark blue on Radar 3000. That's that very, very heavy stuff that we've been saying in the First Warn weather team for some time would be be on the way with this weather event. That heavy snow is entering the western part of Dane County, Cross Plains, Fitchburg, Belleville, and Mount Horeb as we speak right now. And that whole line is really eyeing up the I-90, I-39 corridor and will be moving across the rest of southern Wisconsin during the evening hours. We have winter weather advisories that are in effect for southwestern Wisconsin, and this goes until 6 p.m. on Saturday. The additional snow is on the way on Saturday, and our friends out in La Crosse are issuing winter weather advisories in anticipation of that continuation of snow. Rest of southern Wisconsin through 6 a.m. Saturday, but probably par for course. We'll likely see these winter weather advisories extended into the Saturday time frame for additional snow that is expected in the end to total 3 to 6 inches near the Madison area, a little bit less towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. This reinforcement of snow that's expected on Saturday, building a band of snow stretching from, let's say, the Boscoville area of Wisconsin River over to Madison and north, and then east towards Lake Michigan. So this is alert day set number 2 of this week. We have alert day set number 3 for bitterly cold temperatures. Meteorologist Blaze Keller is out on the patio as well. Blaze, have the flakes started, and what about that cold stuff?
The flakes are trying to get going here. There's kind of little bursts of like the light flakes. We're not seeing what they're seeing in Dodgeville or in Platteville. But as you mentioned, Alex, the bitter cold is for our Monday and Tuesday alert days. Let's take a look at what we can anticipate in terms of temperatures for that. Some of those wind chill values may be anywhere between 20 to 30, maybe 35 degrees below zero, especially Tuesday morning, as this is our latest round of Arctic air. If we take a look at where that Arctic air originated from back on the 8th, it was in the Arctic Circle. Today, it's making its way through Canada and will be on our doorstep by the 17th, which is why we have that hazardous cold outlook from the 16th through the 20th, which is when the heart of that cold air is going to be overhead. I mentioned those cold wind chills, but take a look at our forecast highs compared to normal. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, even Thursday, 20 to almost 30 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. We should be right around 31 degrees, and we are going to be in those single digits, not only Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday as well. Those overnight lows well below zero, and as I mentioned, those wind chill values, especially Tuesday morning, could be 30 to 40 degrees below zero. Alex, I'll send it back to you, and I'll, of course, keep an eye out to see when these big snowflakes make it here outside the studio.
Thanks so much, Blaze. Again, just one last recap. The heavy snow has entered much of the WISC viewing area from Madison, Dells, Janesville, and points off towards the west. If you have traveled this evening, you're definitely going to want to take a slow go because some of these snowfall rates are very, very heavy with very low visibilities. Brady, Susan?
Thank you, Alex. Yes, it is an alert day, but all the lovebirds out there, they have dinner reservations, they got their hair done, they have new outfits. They are going out on their Valentine's Day date nights.
Hey, those reservations are hard to get.
Yes.
But once, by the time you get dessert, you might be questioning that decision to go downtown. Our Will Keneally is on downtown Madison, just down the road from where you normally are at the Capitol. Will, how does it look downtown?
That's right. No questions where I would want to be on Valentine's Day, right in the shadow of the Capitol here. We're downtown. Things are picking up a little bit more as some of the businesses on the square here start to let out for the weekend. And as you're mentioning, reservations kind of hard to get, but we've heard from one business owner that it's some last-minute cancellations with some people fearing the snow. So if you're still mulling, maybe going out, you might still be able to get into a place where they've had those cancellations. And I spoke earlier with Katie Couture, the general manager at Cooper's Tavern, just over kind of to our left here, talking about those reservations and what they're expecting tonight. Take a listen.
We take limited reservations because we still do like to accommodate a lot of our walk-in business since we're downtown and on the square. And so really, we take limited reservations. They fill up very quickly. And it is still nice, though. There are some people that called today that were able to still get some spots in from some last-minute cancellations. So.
Now, Cooper's Tavern, this is the second year that they've actually started taking reservations. They only do it for a couple of days. New Year's, for example, Valentine's Day are the only 2 days. So they rely still a lot on foot traffic, like I'm sure many of the restaurants on the square here do. So if you're still thinking about it, maybe go a little bit earlier so you can get in, get out, beat the snow. And I can say now we're a little bit further east than you guys back in the studio. So the skies are darkening a little bit. We're starting to see a couple of flakes, but Lance and I behind the camera, we'll keep track of this downtown Madison for you. But for now, reporting from the Capitol Square, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Thanks, Will. Good luck, everyone, and we'll be right back. On the next Live at 4, Will Loper reviews this weekend at the box office.
And we talked to CBS News correspondent Scott McFarlane about how the president's tariffs could affect you.
Well, just as predictable as taxes themselves are tax scams at this time of year.
Yep. Earlier, I talked to Tiffany Schultz from the Better Business Bureau about how to protect yourself when choosing a tax preparer and how to know if they're legit.
Scammers know this. They follow the news. It's topical. People are filing their taxes. If you don't have a tax preparer and you're looking for one, you really need to do your homework first. Look for them on bbb.org. Ask for recommendations for friends and family. Do your homework. Not every tax professional is the same. They all don't have the same qualifications. If you have a pretty simple return, you probably can get by with somebody who has limited experience. But if you are a business owner or you have a complex tax situation, you're going to want somebody with a little bit more experience, really dig deep, find out their credentials, and find out if they're the right person to file your taxes for you.
Every year, I seem to get a phone call or a text for something related to my tax return. Will the IRS ever call you personally?
They will never reach out unsolicited.
Okay.
And there are scams centered around that too, where the IRS agent, they sound official, will tell you that you are owed a refund or you owe back taxes and they need some personal information. However, if you have reached out to the IRS first, they will return your phone call.
Okay. What are some of the other big red flags around tax time?
Yeah, those are really good questions. So there are mailing scams out there where you're sent an envelope and it looks very professional, official, and maybe it's looking for you to provide your professional or your confidential information, put it in the mail, and send it back to who could be a scammer.
There's a lot of identity theft at tax time. People take your personal information. It happened to me. Someone got a hold of my social security number and filed a tax return and got the return before I filed my taxes. How do you protect yourself against that?
The best thing that you can do is file early. Scammers do get in touch with your personal and financial information, and they can file tax returns in your name and steal your identity. So the best thing to do is to file early and then file with an IPIN. When you file with an IPIN, you get a new PIN number every year that's sent to you, and you need to use that PIN number in order to file. So it's kind of like extra protection, like logging into your email, where you do have that two-factor on there.
It's Valentine's Day, and there are a lot of romance scams out there. What are you seeing at the BBB?
What happens is that a scammer connects with somebody who may be lonely, looking for friendship, maybe looking for a new love interest, and they develop a relationship with this person. And it goes on within time, and when they start trusting them, they ask for some money. They may ask for $100 for groceries. And of course you love this person, right? You're going to get married, but you've never met in person. And that ask was successful, so the next ask, they may need car repairs. And this goes on and on and on. And this person that you're talking to really doesn't exist. So when you're entering a new relationship, whether you've met them online or you've met them maybe through a text message or a Facebook message, really check out the person who you're communicating with, because they may not be legitimate, especially if they don't want to meet in person.
Tiffany, thanks to you for all you do to keep us informed. Keep up the great work.
Thanks for having me today.
Nice to see you today.
Thank you.
And for more information and tips on avoiding tax fraud, go to the Better Business Bureau website. You want to bookmark this one because there's so much going on scam-wise. Yeah. This is a great resource, bbb.org.
Yeah, those scammers are pretty smart, so you have to stay ahead of them. We'll be right back.
Before we leave you at 4, let's head out one more time. Tanasia Shaw and Brian Mesmer are on the roads. Hi, Tanasia, where are you now and how does it look?
Hey, snow has picked up a lot. I'm on 18151 in Barneveld. Look at it, the freeway is completely covered in snow. So please take your time. We're going about 10 miles slower than the speed limit indicates that we should, just to be cautious. So please be cautious out there. I'll have another check in about 10 minutes during the 5 p.m. newscast. Reporting in Barneville, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
All right, Tanasia, we'll see you at 5. Thanks so much, and we'll be right back. On Monday on Live at 4, Will Loper will review this weekend's movies. And then coming up later today on News 3 Now at 6, the new theory that investigators have about what caused the plane crash over the Potomac. Thanks for joining us for Live at 4 on this Friday afternoon. Have a great weekend, everybody, and a happy Valentine's Day. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.